Yeah, so you've expressed hope that you could get a bipartisan piece of legislation that would protect those parents' rights, so that your schools can operate in a way where you can create a community where children are taught what the parents believe about marriage and the truth about biological gender. These two iconic issues. There's other issues as well, but on one hand you've got political sort of soundings that yes, we want to protect those rights, and on the other hand you've got the bureaucrats serving up these sorts of charters and proposed legislation. Do you think the politicians really know what's going on, or is this a case of other forces at play?
Well, I certainly would suggest that there's been a number of politicians who've been poorly briefed on many of these issues. This isn't just an issue for Christian schools, it's an issue for Islamic schools, it's an issue for a range of other faith-based schools, Jewish schools, other schools around the country. This is about people of faith wanting to, and many of them new migrants to our nation, many of them minority religions as well, looking to actually ensure that their faith can be transmitted and shared with their children. It's a fundamental attack on families. Now, whether you are a person of faith or not, you want to be able to raise your children in accordance with what you believe is in their best interest, and what you believe is how they should grow up and feed into our world. Now that's a fundamental right, and government bureaucrats particularly are just not addressing that. They're not providing those protections. We're still hopeful, but there's still a lot of work to be done, and we need everyone to actually stand up and say, yes, this is important to me. Let their MPs know that these are things that are important to them. I know some people claim it's there's no widespread support for it, but there is, and we've already found that out previously.
No, that's right. And look, nothing less is at stake than the ability of religious schools, Christian, Islamic schools, other religions, to ensure that there's an environment where males identifying as females are not in the girls' sporting teams or change rooms, all that sort of stuff. This is what's at stake with these religious freedom issues. Now, some of the misinformation around this was clearly demonstrated in this week's ABC TV documentary called Nemesis, which is a look back at the Abbott, Turnbull and Morrison years, this week focusing on the Morrison Prime Ministership and his attempt in 2022 to legislate a religious discrimination bill to provide these protections and certainty for your schools. Unfortunately, that bill was torpedoed by a number of Liberals who spoke out and voted against their own government's attempt to protect freedom of speech and freedom of religion.